we should address the elephant in the room.
What's that?
And they can't, you need to back up so they can see. He does have one pair of camo pants, but he's only had camo pants on this entire trip. So Steve likes to get into the character when we go on a trip. Like our son's wedding is coming up, and it's in Houston, Texas. And Cowboy Steve will be at the wedding.
They're not letting me take my cowboy hat, but they are letting me take my boots.
Okay. And we go to the Caribbean almost every winter, and he scuba dives. And then he becomes Scuba Steve. So I would like to introduce you to who he's been on this trip. I affectionately call him Redneck Steve. So when we came to Alaska the first time, he was in his camo pants, and people fly to Anchorage, rent a motorhome just like we did, and then they pull into the first night campground, and then they scan the campground. Who looks like they most likely know how to do all these hookups and things on this motorhome that they have no idea how to do? And they would see Steve, and they're like, that dude looks like a redneck. I bet he's camped a lot. He knows how to do this. So they would ask him to help them. And the kids were like, Mom, why does everyone ask Dad for help?
Because I'm a nice guy. They can just tell I'm a nice guy.
No, because he looks like Redneck Steve. So that's who's been on this trip with me, is Redneck Steve. So he doesn't shave. He wears camo pants.
Yeah,
and
I have to tell you, it's really convenient. I can get ready in exactly 3 minutes each morning.
Yeah, me, not so much. Him, yeah. And he tried to convince me to buy camo pants for this trip, but
we could have been Mr. and Mrs. Redneck. Now,
I am not viewers, Redneck Beth.
I want a vote on this. Please put it in the comments if you think Beth should wear camo pants and become Redneck Beth.
You know,
I'm being Redneck Steve.
I did get army green Eddie Bauer pants that are lined that I've worn a lot on this trip. But I am not wearing camo pants, so don't bother voting for that.
I think a USA t-shirt and camo pants would look great on Beth.
Yeah, his Land of the Free flag, Home of the Brave, camo pants. He's got it all going on.
Yep.
And this hat is a new addition for Redneck Steve.
Yeah, we got it at Eddie Bauer. You know, it just looked appropriate. It's been very good keeping the sun off my face, too.
So, Steve, now that we're flying home tomorrow, what's your favorite part of the trip, and what's your one thing you would have done differently?
My favorite part of the trip has been spending time with my wife as we have persevered to figure everything out about the van and made it 4,500 miles driving and had lots of adventures. And I have to say, this audible to come whale watching, this was her audible. She has gone from everything should be done exactly as it's in the book and by the schedule to let's just do something crazy and go 120 miles out of our way to go see whales.
Now, our trip did get a little longer coming down here. Steve got a beautiful reflection of the lake picture on the way down here. That I think he'll put in the video.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, why don't we show it right now?
What about what you do differently?
What I do differently on the trip? I would have spent more time in the Yukon when we were seeing all those beautiful animals. I think if I ever did this trip again, I would just plan all of my days in Canada going across the Yukon and spend lots of time in Banff and Jasper and north of Jasper where we saw all the animals and just take our time going through Canada.
And yeah, we loved Canada. We did kind of rush through it. And part of it is this is our third time in Alaska. And that was our first time in the Yukon and to Banff and Jasper. So I think we'd like to spend more time there and not rush through it.
Right. And now that we've been through it, we know what we'd want to see and where we want to go. So I see another trip in our future, Beth.
You think so?
Coming up the Alaskan Highway.
I would love to go on the East Coast up to Maine and see the leaves change in the fall. I think that would be awesome.
We could do that in a camper van.
We could. Do we own a camper van?
No, we do not own a camper van.
Will we own a camper van? That was part of why we rented this.
It's a significant monetary investment.
Yes. And how are you feeling about that?
You know, if we could get one used, or if we could have one custom made, that would be less expensive than Winnebago.
Custom made by Steve?
Partially.
Okay. So before this trip, I was watching camper van videos, and Steve was like, let's rent a camper van. You will hate it, and then we'll never have to get one. That was your goal, wasn't it?
It was actually, this was to dissuade the camper van idea.
But now, after 18 days,
I have to say there is a lot of utility to it, but it's also expensive for the vehicle, so we have to make sure we're actually going to use it.
it could be your new drive around town car, honey.
A great big honking van every day driving around town.
Well, maybe you could get a black lab to sit beside you.
Wow, I even get a black lab out of the deal. Did you hear that, viewers?
Actually, I don't want a black lab.
She backed herself into that one.
I don't want hair in the house, but I love my dogs.
Yeah.
But they don't shed.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey everybody, here we are in Chicago O'Hare Airport on our way home from Alaska.
Last leg of the trip, only about 1 more hour of flying.
I'm a little tired. It was a long flight, 6 hours. And Steve had us watch movies that made me cry, so.
Yeah, it distracted her.
Yeah.
It was effective.
Yeah.
So Beth, what was your favorite thing and least favorite thing about the camper van?
About the camper van. My favorite thing is to drive the camper van. There were even a few times Steve was like, slow down. And it's like the roles have reversed. Usually I'm in the passenger side screaming and telling him to look out.
I didn't think it was Grand Prix driving in the camper van that I was going to encounter.
I really like driving the camper van. It's a good reason we should own one, honey.
Yeah, I've heard that. So what's the least favorite thing?
The least favorite thing is I like that there's a toilet, but I was barred from using it a lot of the time. So
a lot of the time, as in
it was a peeing only toilet.
Peeing only for good reason.
Yeah. So that kind of put a damper on things,
so to speak. So, what about the trip? Your favorite thing on the trip?
The trip, just making so many memories with you, honey. It was one exciting adventure after another. We got to day 4, the sun came up and it never went away. We didn't have another drop of rain. It just was fun and activities and animals from day 4 to day 19 today. Yeah. But we probably don't want to talk too much about the little bit of day 1, 2, and 3, because that was the not fun part.
Yeah, we'll delete those videos.
So are we going to do this trip again? We have some friends who might want to go.
You know, I think at some point we might do it again, but not next year.
Yeah, they asked us this morning, are you doing this again next year? And you know, I don't know. Ask us in a couple weeks and we might say yes, we want to. But it was wonderful.
So thanks everybody for watching these videos, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We have more adventures coming up. We have a wedding to go to in Texas. Yay! Our first child getting married, Sean and Amy's wedding in Houston. We cannot wait. And we may film that because that'll be an adventure as well.
So keep watching our videos at Best Last Half.
And thank you. We appreciate all your comments and all your support and love. And you guys are awesome. Have a great day.